We're on.
We're on? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, it's the Tightwad sisters, Sharon and Rosie. And we went to the movies and we saw... Take a guess. Is that backwards on there? You think it looks backwards on there?
It's definitely backwards on there.
Okay, the Washington Post. We saw the movie The Post. Steven Spielberg directed the movie. It's like a political thriller about the Pentagon Papers. It's like, takes place in the early 70s, and it's the New York Post kind of going against the New York Times. The New York Times published they got a lead, and they published some stuff on the Pentagon Papers, and the government shut them down. So while they were shut down, it so happens that in the movies, Tom Hanks, he plays Ben Bradley. He was the editor of the Post, and Meryl Streep.
That's who I am. I'm Meryl Streep.
Yeah,
she is the owner of the paper.
She actually got the paper by default. Her dad owned it. He left it to her husband and her husband killed himself. And now she finds herself in this precarious situation of being the editor of the biggest paper in the world, and she has no experience doing this. So she hires Ben Bradley. He's a real seasoned, rough, gruff editor, and he kind of runs the show. But they come across this really intense problem they have. They get their hands on the Pentagon Papers. Are they going to publish them or not? The New York Times got shut down.
Well, it was about the Vietnam War.
The Pentagon Papers is about the 30-year involvement. Right. It was classified information, with classified documents. So it's about the Vietnam War, but it's mostly
it's more about the paper.
It's more about First Amendment rights.
Well, it's more right, and the paper and the people that work there and the rights
and all that.
Yes.
Is that the First Amendment? It's what the freedom of speech.
Freedom of speech.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's what it's about.
That's what it's about.
And is she going to publish them? Is she not going to publish them?
But it's about the Vietnam War and why it was just a terrible, horrible mistake. And everybody knew that it was a mistake.
They knew, the Pentagon Papers say that they knew they were in there for 30 years and they were not going to win. They knew they were going to win. And they kept sending these kids
it was all
year in and year out, and they all died, and it's a shame.
It was all about money. Kennedy knew about it. They all knew about it. They all knew about it, and they just let all these kids go to war and be killed. It was a horrible war.
They said that one of the main reasons they didn't stop the war was because they didn't want to admit. The main thing, 80% of the problem was they didn't want to admit they were wrong, and they didn't want to admit that it's the first time they lost the war. So to save face, they just kept it going and going and going. It was horrible.
That's why they kept sending drugs to the guys in the military. Plenty of pot, plenty of drugs, just keep them all high. That's what they did. And I'm sure a lot of people watching have known somebody that lost their life in the Vietnam War.
More than one person.
Yes. Well, a lot of my friends.
If you're 60 or over, I went to high school with girls whose boyfriends died.
Terrible.
Brothers.
All for
uncles,
nothing.
For nothing. For
Government.
nothing. It was so sad.
What are you going to do?
So anyway, here's the weird thing about this movie. It was a good movie. It's up for Best Picture. Steven Spielberg totally snubbed. Got nothing. And Tom Hanks was really good in it.
Oh, Tom Hanks really got... it's a shame.
He got snubbed too.
He got snubbed out this time.
So for the top awards, like movie director, and in the 4 acting categories, the only person that got up there is Meryl Streep for her portrayal.
I thought Tom Hanks was better than Meryl Streep.
Yeah, she was good in it though. She was good.
She was good. Yeah, she was.
She's good in anything.
She was a regular Meryl Streep acting. Tom Hanks was better. He was better. He should have been nominated.
It was intense.
He should have been. It was good. It was really good.
I say
we liked it.
I liked it. So what do you want to do? Let's go.
I'd save it for video. I don't think it's in the movies anymore anyway. If it is, save it for video.
It's a video movie. Not a movie. Right. It's not like special effects where you'd have to be in the movies.
It's not like that. It's a good heavy-duty story. Right.
And it's really about the first...
And if you like history and stuff like that.
I liked it. I really liked it because I used to be a newspaper editor for years. So I kept saying to her when we were watching, I said, oh, this is how it happens in the newsroom. Like the news, every day before the paper goes out, there's a news, a meeting, and everybody discusses what's on the front page and on. They had the same setup, and I said to Sharon, that's what they do. That's really how they do it. It was very cool. I miss being on the newspaper.
You're giving it
a lot
2?
Of adrenaline.
I'm giving it a 3.
I'm not giving it a 2.
Oh.
I'm reaching.
Well, you usually bring them all together. I'm going to give it a 3 also.
I'm giving it a 3 also.
Yes.
It was good. I can't say it was great. It was a little slow in the beginning, and it picked up near the end.
Yeah, it did. It was a little slow. That's why I'm saying video.
I want you to notice one scene that I thought was the best scene. she takes over, and she's like really wimpy in the beginning. She's very out of her league. She feels like, they make her look clumsy and awkward. She knocks a chair over in a restaurant. They make her look like she's.
At this time there was no women in anything.
Yeah, so she's the first one.
Right.
So they portrayed her as like in a man's world, and she wasn't really getting the respect she deserved. But her character absolutely morphs into a tough woman. Mm-hmm. And at the end, she's coming out of a courtroom, and she's walking through the crowd, and it was all women. Yes. And they were all smiling at her. And that was a really poignant scene to me. It looked like she came into her own, and she got the respect she finally deserved.
Yeah, at the very end when she was walking down the court steps.
Yeah, when all the women were stepping back and smiling at her, and all, I thought, yeah, you go, girl. You go, girl.
Okay, so that's 5 minutes. We're going to make this short because it was just a movie. Okay?
It's worth watching, though.
Video.
It's worth watching.
Yeah, it is
video.
worth it.
I don't even think it's in the movies, but it's definitely worth watching. We each gave it 3. Okay, so we're coming back with another movie, The Shape of Water.
And so we'll be back.
So you just know.
This is going to be...
She's crazy, and you know
This is going to be a bit of a challenge.
It's going to be a challenge. She won't even let me see it. I won't allow her anything. No, she's going to go in the other room and do it. She's not going to let me see it. So you'll see it when I see it.
I hope it's not a disappointment.
Oh, you never.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough one. Okay.
See you in a little bit.
Go to the movies, not this one. All right, video. All right, bye.
Bye.